Women are making major waves in science, the arts, philanthropy, sports, and so much more. We're here to celebrate some of those achievements. Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Humankind Connection, all about womankind. I'm your host, Zuleika Nethu. Jasmine Crowe is a force of nature. She's an award-winning entrepreneur. She's the founder and CEO of Gooda. It's a tech-based waste company that takes our excess supplies of food and uses it to feed those in need. Terry Badu reports.
This viral video produced a light bulb moment for Jasmine Crowe.
People were like, this is so amazing. Who donated the food? And the truth was nobody. I was couponing, price matching, cooking all this food myself, taking it downtown, having to come back, clean up my kitchen. And I was feeding about 300 to 500 people every time I would do this.
As a sideline to her celebrity consultancy business, Jasmine had been feeding the hungry.
So I was hosting these pop-up restaurants, and essentially it was like a 5-course meal, but it was largely in parking lots and alleyways and in parks. And I would print off menus and allow people to kind of order and be served like they were at a restaurant. So really trying to bring that dignity experience back.
After seeing the response to her video, Jasmine decided to scale up the operation. And in 2017, she founded Gooda.
Gooda sees hunger not as an issue of scarcity, but rather a matter of logistics. If we're wasting nearly 80 billion pounds of food that's good every single year, it's more about connecting people with this excess food.
To make that connection, Jasmine created a tech-based waste management service. Gooda now has a network of surplus food suppliers, including restaurants, airports, and sports teams. Though attracting new donors can be tough.
One obstacle that I have to get over all the time is people saying like, well, if we donate the food and someone gets sick, then we can be sued. In reality, that's not the case. Since 1996, under President Bill Clinton, the Good Samaritan Act was signed, which says in clear writing, people donating food in good faith will not be held liable, but people still are afraid.
Gooda's goal is simple: collect excess food from those who have it and give it free to those who need it.
So this is not food that's actually in the dumpster. What this is this is the food where you're at a wedding or you're at an event and they make all this extra food and then people don't show up. So it's the same food that you and I would be eating, but it just is essentially left or it's extra.
As part of Gooda's mission, inedible food is also collected and used as compost.
In the US, we're really behind. If you look at countries like France and Italy, it's already illegal for businesses to waste perfectly good food. They have to donate it to a nonprofit organization. So we're really trying to kind of go up against this kind of old guard.
Gooda operates in many cities nationwide and hopes to eventually reach every major US market. Recently, Jasmine expanded Gooda's reach, teaming up with rapper Gunna to create Gunna's Drip Closet, a grocery and clothing store in Atlanta.
We built a grocery store right inside of a school. Our next grocery store project will be for senior citizens inside of a senior home. So we're gonna keep on rethinking how we are solving hunger in this country. And we do think that sometimes you have to have additional items.
Jasmine combines her work with Gooda with being a new mum, speaker, and author. It's a busy life, but a rewarding one.
I recently wrote a children's book called Everybody Eats, which is all about helping kids, pick up the torch and solve hunger too. But this is really what brings me a lot of joy. So even though it seems like work, I guess when you're living in your purpose, it feels good every day.
And Jasmine's expansion plans are continuing, including opening a grocery store in Atlanta where seniors can shop for free. We turn now to 3 women from Colorado Springs who are filling their retirement years with adventure. They call themselves the Wander Women, and their nomadic lifestyle is an inspiration. Here again is Terry Badu.
Oh my gosh, here we come. Come the Wander Women.
Christy, Annette, and Lynn are professional women of a certain age. In 2019, they left the rat race for the adventure of a lifetime.
But we wanted to write a new chapter of our life. We just felt like life is short and there's many things to do. And so we wanted to have as many experiences as we could have before we die.
The intrepid trio sold their homes and set off for the wild blue yonder. Their goal was to complete hiking's Triple Crown.
Decided to do the Appalachian Trail, which is 2,200 miles, and so we completed that in 2019, and we made it. We didn't know if our bodies would hold up. We knew we loved to backpack, and we mentally and emotionally we could do it, but we didn't know if our bodies would hold up. We did. We got stronger. We actually were amazed at our bodies.
Our sense of home or our sense of stability is not tied to a place. We have that in ourselves. So we carry our home with us, like inside us. So like when we're doing these long trails, when we're backpacking, we feel like, yes, we're at home out here.
The second leg of their epic journey was a 3,000-mile trek from the Canadian border to the border with Mexico, along the Continental Divide.
Have some luck. You have to not get injured, which could happen at any moment. You can get overuse injuries because it's really extreme. And the older you get, I think you're more prone to some of those overuse injuries. But we have feet issues, we have arthritis in our toes.
It's kind of funny.
It's pitiful. But we are solution oriented. You wouldn't believe the stuff we do to our bodies to keep going.
The marathon hikes are an exercise in self-sufficiency.
You have everything, absolutely everything you need on you.
Yeah.
So like if it starts to get colder, you're like, no problem. You know, if it's raining, no problem. You have all your stuff that you need with you, and you can relax and just be part of nature. You can just be in it. And that's a great feeling.
Hey, we keep pinching ourselves to see if we're still alive.
This is so beautiful.
It's heavenly up here.
Through their adventures, the Wonder Women have tried to inspire others by creating a YouTube video diary.
We've been climbing all day, but look it out over this way. I want the video to tell a story, to take people with us on the trail, because there's people that can't get out there and do it at this point. To see what we see and to go real time with us, and also to realize that they can create their life, that they're not victims, that you have a choice, you can create a beautiful life.
And it's never too late to start. I mean, some people say, well, you know, I'm this age, it doesn't matter. You know, get out and do what you can do. I mean, I didn't do any of this until I was 50, in my 50s, early 50s. So, and then I started doing this. I had never backpacked or done anything, so it is not too late to start.
Yeah.
And my life has just grown.
The last leg of the Triple Crown is the 2,600-mile Pacific Crest Trail.
These are our first steps of a 2,600-mile journey on the PCT. And it's such a gift. I really feel like life is such a gift. Like, it's so short. We know our time is running out, and there's so much we want to see, and we don't have the time to see it all, and we can't waste a minute. I mean, I really feel like that. Like, it is a gift.
Their epic journey began as a personal challenge and became an inspiration to others. A reminder that it's never too late to live life to the full.
And the Wonder Women aren't just biking and hiking. They're adding trail cycling to their bucket list of age-defying adventures. Taking pride in your appearance can be one way to boost spirits when times are tough, but it can seem unattainable, especially for those who are homeless. Shirley Raines recognized that and decided to take her beauty skills to the streets. From washing hair to sharing hot meals, the makeup lady, as she's known, is making over LA's Skid Row and forming meaningful connections along the way. Shirley Raines and her team may wash and cut hair on this corner every Saturday, but they're looking to transform much more than a person's appearance.
People look at the fact that we do hair, we do makeup, we apply eyelashes, and they're like, how do people feel when they get out the chair? Like, what do they do when they look in the mirror? Are they a man? And you know, it's such a 6 of one, half a dozen of another experience, because they are smiling in the mirror. They are happy with what they see. But I'm not convinced that most of that comes from the eyelashes that they see and the lipstick that they see or the hair that they see. I think a lot of that comes from somebody just giving them that time and attention. Every Saturday, somebody takes the time to make 20 and 30 minutes about them. That alone will boost your self-esteem.
These things, they still matter to us. You know, we still care about how our appearance is, no matter what, like if you're low income or poor or not. Like, so it's a blessing to have these services because we probably wouldn't get it otherwise.
It all began when Shirley realized she had to make a transformation of her own.
Back in my 20s, I lost my firstborn child. He passed away 5 days from his third birthday, and I came down with massive panic and anxiety disorder. Many years after that, I do have 5 more living kids, but my life has just never been the same. That trauma, that tragedy at such a young age really broke me. And I think when I was 48, another anniversary was coming up. He was born on September 11th. He passed away on September 6th. So September is kind of my hard month. And I think I called my sister and I was crying again. And she was like, okay, you have been doing this for almost 30 years. He would not want you to live like this. You have got to process through this. You know, she's like, I'm sorry this happened to you, but you gotta find your purpose, Shirley.
Shirley volunteered to help feed the homeless in Los Angeles.
And when I went, it was amazing. Like, I loved it, but the women were more interested in my hair and my makeup, the LGBTQ community. They were like, oh, we love your earrings, we love your eyelashes, we love your haircut. I was like, oh, thank you, king, thank you, queen. And I probably went 3 weeks with this organization. They kept saying the same thing, but see, the narrative I had been fed about homeless people was like, they need clothing and food and all these things. So I was like, do you want like hair color and makeup? Because I can bring that. And they were like, yeah, if you'll bring it. I'm like, oh, sure, I got all this stuff at home.
Before she knew it, word spread that Shirley was bringing beauty services to the streets.
They started calling me the makeup lady. Everybody knew my card. Everybody was looking for me.
Today, Shirley and her team provide a variety of services.
We are feeding 500 of those people on Saturdays and 350 of those people on Tuesdays. I have a lot of work to do because I need to be able to feed all 6,000 of them. The numbers are probably closer to 8,000 right now because more people came since the pandemic.
They just want to help, do what they can to help where you're at in your life, like as far as needing like hygiene items and things that help keep COVID down. Like they give us hygiene, sanitary things like wipes, laundry detergent to do laundry around here.
Shirley sees a reflection of herself in the people she helps every weekend.
You know, the loss of my son, and many years later, I buried his dad as well to an early stage of colon cancer. Because of all the trauma that I had been through, I too kind of was an ugly person to society. It was a lot of hurt. It was a lot of pain. It was a lot of anger. It was a lot of rage. It was misplaced indeed. But people thought I was just like people gave up on me. And I learned that just because someone looks a certain way or they act a certain way, it's not really what it seems to be. And I know a lot of pain and a lot of hurt can look like rage and anger.
Shirley plans to bring healing and support to her community for years to come.
Beauty to the Streets does not want a building. If someone offered us a building, I tell them to take it and make it home, housing for the homeless. If they're on the corner, we're on the corner. If they're over here, this is where we are. We meet them where they're at, in their own backyard.
Like Shirley, Dr. Asha Shahjahan has made it her life's mission to serve her community in the best way she knows how. That's why they call her the healer. On the streets of Motor City, this Beaumont Hospital physician is affectionately known as the healer.
They call me all sorts of things. And it was just, there was a reporter that was with me, and it's like, they get so excited every time a reporter comes and they're like, this is our healer. And so she ran with that. It was really humbling to hear that.
Dr. Asha Shahjahan earned her nickname early in the pandemic while treating homeless people at the Pope Francis Center in downtown Detroit.
We didn't really understand what was going on. And when everything's shut down, homeless people can't watch TV and the news and know what's going on. I went down there in my full PPE and just really asking people if they needed anything.
Dr. Asha is an award-winning health advocate. She believes that everyone deserves equal access to good health care, regardless of circumstance.
I did my undergrad in health administration and policy. And what I realized is that there was a lot of issues with the social determinants of health. So people not being able to get their medication, or people not having the right level of health literacy to understand the instructions of a physician, not having community physicians.
Dr. Asha has a hands-on, people-first approach. A meeting with a pregnant teen about to quit school sharpened her focus.
She said, the way I walk to school, we call it Death Valley. People get hooted and hollered at. There's a lot of gang activity in the area. And I don't want my child to be subjected to that, like me walking to school as a pregnant person.
Dr. Asha intervened and helped get the girl back on track. But the experience was a revelation.
I will never forget that, because that made me realize how important social circumstances are, and how as physicians, we may assume people are either following or not following a treatment plan, or taking care of their health for certain reasons, when the underlying root reason might be something completely different that we don't think of.
As an assistant professor at Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, Dr. Asha teaches her students to connect on a human level.
I want the physicians who are learning to become physicians to really understand what are the struggles that people go through, and from the lens of a human being and not necessarily from that hierarchy of being a physician.
Dr. Asha is striving to create a partnership of trust between doctors and patients based on reliable information.
We saw with the pandemic what has happened when we have poor medical information. So I've been doing a lot of work around trying to dispel myths. I think it's our moral responsibility to educate the public and our patients, and we are the most trusted messengers for data. So we have to really be equipped to be able to battle misinformation. I love working with people, conversating with people, hearing their stories. And I think as a physician, you have the privilege of hearing the deepest, most personal stories of people, and you have the ability to make such a huge impact on people.
After surviving cancer in childhood, Haley Arsenault set out to achieve some big dreams, and she did. But even she didn't expect a chance to explore something even bigger, the final frontier. And then she did that too. There's a remarkable woman aboard this spacecraft. She may not be an astronaut, but she has every right to be here.
Zero part of me thought I would ever go to space. And really until this mission, I never could have gone to space, because until this mission, astronauts have had to really be physically perfect. And that's not a category I fall into.
Haley Arsenault never imagined she'd be taking off into space one day.
My disease is called osteosarcoma, and it's a bone cancer. It's very serious. If you don't catch it fast, it spreads.
Haley has a prosthetic in her leg. It's a result of her battle with cancer.
At that point, my mom looked at my leg and saw about an orange-sized tumor above my left knee.
And I just knew something serious was wrong.
And I'll never forget, she immediately brought us into her office, showed us the x-ray and said, "This is bone cancer, osteosarcoma." And I just said, I don't want to die, because everyone I had known at age 10 who had cancer had passed away. And I thought cancer was a death sentence.
For Haley, it wasn't a death sentence. She beat cancer with the support of her family and the team at St. Jude. That experience is what inspired her to pursue a career in medicine.
I've known since I was 10 years old that all I was going to do was come back and work at St. Jude. And I decided upon entering college that I wanted to become a physician assistant. And about 1.5 years ago, I got my dream job, which is I work as a PA with inpatient leukemia and lymphoma patients.
Haley found hope during her treatment, and she hopes to spread it wherever she goes.
You just get to share with these kids that they will get through this. It will get better. That it's really hard, but there will be better days, and they can do anything they want to do. And, you know, I got to share that with them before the space thing.
Hey everyone, so what we're looking at is the Earth from our perspective. So we are flying this huge window, the biggest window that's ever been flown in space, and looking through the window, we can see the entire perimeter of the Earth.
SpaceX raised over $200 million for St. Jude through their Inspiration 4 mission. It was fitting for Haley to come aboard that flight, riding in the Hope seat.
It's such an honor to get to represent hope, because I believe that it's such an important thing to have, because really everyone goes through difficult times in life, and just the hope to hold on that there will be better days, that has really carried me through so much.
Haley became the youngest American ever to travel to space. She's the first person with a prosthetic body part to travel to space. She's also the first pediatric cancer survivor to make it to space.
Being the first pediatric cancer survivor, really of all of them, is what's most exciting to me, because of what this is showing to kids fighting cancer all over the world and other survivors, to show them what life after cancer can look like, and survivors can do big things.
Haley is a trailblazer, an inspiration, and a change maker. There's no telling what comes next, but she's enjoying the ride. After her exciting trip into space, Haley actually joined the SpaceX medical team, helping train and support commercial astronauts, all while keeping her job at St. Jude. If you have someone you'd like to see recognized in our Womankind series, we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to humankind@kinet.com. And that's our show. We salute all the women out there making a difference in their own communities. Often it's done quietly and not always with recognition, but we see you. Thanks for watching. I'm Zuleika Nethu. Bye for now.